A guilty verdict in the DUI case against Real Housewives of Potomac member Karen Huger.
Yeah, and just in, right now we are getting our first look at the police body camera video from the night of the crash there in March that led to her arrest. Take a look as officers try to question Huger on the scene.
Karen, how much are you drinking tonight?
I can talk to my husband.
Okay, can I talk with?
Yeah.
I can't talk to your husband. He's not really involved in this incident.
No.
He can help me translate or get you to cooperate.
He is.
Okay.
He is. You okay?
How much you drink tonight? How much
Ray, are you good?
I'm good. I'm just saying, you know, they're assuming that you had more than you should have, and I'm assuming that you had like a couple of beers or something like that.
Yes, that's all I had.
But you know,
you had a couple of beers.
So,
that's my assumption.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. I wasn't with her.
Okay. That's why I'm trying to communicate with her.
Yeah.
What kind of beer did you drink?
Ray, were we good, sweetheart?
I don't see your license here.
I think one of my...
Somebody got him?
Yeah,
somebody got it?
Because
the bag was right there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
so we needed to write an accident report.
Okay. It's okay. So Ray, darling, what did you say?
I'm saying that you probably had a couple of beers.
Yes.
And you're coming back.
Yes.
And you said that you got run off the road.
I did.
Did you hit the tree here or something?
It looks like she hit the center median, came across the median, and then hit this tree as well.
Okay.
Again, that's Potomac housewife Karen Huger with her husband there at that crash scene in March in Montgomery County. Again, Karen Huger found guilty by a jury late tonight on this DUI trial, two-day trial. She was found guilty out of 5 out of the 6 charges. We have much more of this video in this developing story that we're going through right now. This was all evidence during the trial. Stay with Fox 5, and we'll have the latest on fox5dc.com as well with more updates. A Fox 5 News alert to start us off here at 11 is down to the wire on Capitol Hill. The House pulling off a last-minute vote to keep the government funded. The Senate expected to vote within the hour before the midnight deadline. Sierra Fox is live on the Hill tonight following the latest developments. Sierra, here we go again.
It's been hectic here on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers scrambling to prevent a government shutdown. However, Speaker Mike Johnson was confident that wasn't going to happen.
We will not have a government shutdown.
Lawmakers have been racing against the clock to pass a spending bill before the midnight deadline. Just before 6 Friday, the House approved a continuing resolution to prevent a major crisis. Government shutdown averted. How are you feeling?
I think it's a big win, for the American people.
Maryland Congressman Glenn Ivey says a key victory locally is an agreement to fully fund the Baltimore Key Bridge. However, the RFK Stadium provision did not make the cut.
That's out. Northwest Stadium's in my district. The Commanders play in my district. We want to keep them in my district, so we're certainly going to compete to continue to have them there.
The chaotic process is raising questions about how negotiations unfolded and why they came so close to the deadline.
And it was particularly frustrating here because we had a bipartisan bill that was ready to go 2 days ago, and then, Elon Musk sends out a tweet that kills it. Donald Trump joins in.
The passage of this bill means federal workers won't have to stress out about not getting their paychecks or struggling to make ends meet.
They don't have to worry about, not getting paid, not being able to pay their rent, not being able to get the gifts for the holidays or put groceries on the table.
What's next? Well, this bill is expected to pass in the Senate. It's a little after 11 right now, and the deadline is midnight, so they have until then to get it done. From there, it will go to President Joe Biden's desk for signature. Stay ahead with Fox 5. We'll keep you up to date with the very latest. Back to
the top at 4, though. This video getting a whole lot of attention on social media right now. It is a series of fights that happened inside Alexandria City High School. It forced students to spend today as well as tomorrow learning from home. During the melee, a staffer was struck and also hurt. Fox 5's Bob Barnard joining us live from outside that school with all the details. Wow, Bob.
Yeah, Angie. Alexandria police tell us they made 2 arrests here yesterday, students charged with assault and battery. And school officials say because they heard there were supposed to be more fights on campus today and tomorrow, they closed both campuses of Alexandria City High School for the rest of the week. Alexandria police are out in force today at both the main campus here on King Street and on Alexandria City High School's Minnie Howard satellite campus on West Braddock Road, even though there are no students at either campus today. Alexandria public school officials ordering high school students to stay home and learn from there these last 2 days before the Christmas break. The most unusual order following a series of fights on the King Street campus Wednesday, captured in this video and shared on social media.
Oh my God!
At one point, an adult female security guard is seen lying motionless on a hallway floor. People in the community are telling us this is outrageous.
When I saw it, I got in tears. Because they're there to learn, not to fight.
We've also heard from angry parents today and were sent an anonymous letter from a veteran ACHS teacher who shared their concerns with the school community, writing in part, "The hallways at King Street are absolutely out of control. At any given time of the day, you can find literally dozens of kids roaming the hallways. Kids are yelling, cursing, and horseplaying, causing commotion that disrupts learning in the classroom." She goes on to write, "Although making the last 2 days before winter break asynchronous is probably the right thing to do, it's an admission that the building is not safe, so we can't teach the kids. We have failed at our main purpose. It is embarrassing and demoralizing."
It's only 2 days before break, so I guess they're trying to calm the waters before the new year, but just a shame.
I know there's been a lot of talk that there have been some threats recently, and I know that there were threats reported. I don't think they were taken seriously, so we're disappointed.
Troubles within this school community are not new. In May of 2022, an 18-year-old ACHS student was stabbed to death during a fight at a nearby shopping center. Months later, police arrested 3 students after a brawl on campus. And in March of last year, a 15-year-old was arrested for stabbing another student in the face. Alexandria City Public School Superintendent Dr. Melanie K. Wyatt calls what happened Wednesday disheartening and concerning. The fighting that led to a staff member being injured, unacceptable behaviors, adding, "Our school community deserves better and counts on us to provide a safe place for teaching and learning. Please be assured that we are actively working to resolve these issues and will continue to collaborate with staff, families, and the community to maintain a safe and productive learning environment for all of our students." Now, Superintendent Dr. Kay Wyatt says they'll be spending the rest of today and tomorrow coming up with a plan to make sure it's safe for students and staff to return to these schools once winter break ends on January 6th. Guys.
All right. New details tonight in the death of infamous D.C. cocaine kingpin Rayful Edmond. He died at the age of 60 months after he was released from prison.
Edmond's drug operation profited hundreds of millions of dollars at the height of the crack epidemic back in the 1980s. Fox 5's Bob Barnard is live in Northwest tonight with more. Bob?
There are no confirmed details about his death, but numerous reports indicate Rayful Edmond died suddenly of a heart attack at the halfway house where he was living in Miami.
I'm back better than ever.
This is the most recent and only video of Rayful Edmond we've seen since his release from a federal prison last summer, captured on camera at an airport just after his release and shared on social media.
My first thought was, man, I hope he wasn't assassinated. But as it turns out, he apparently died a natural death. And anybody who's been in prison long enough eating prison food, it doesn't take much to imagine how that can happen.
Billy Murphy is one of the attorneys who represented Rayful Edmond over the years. Here was Murphy outside D.C.'s federal courthouse in September 1990, the day Edmond was sentenced to life in prison.
This kid was a genius. There was no question about it. I sat with him every day during a very long trial. What would have happened to him had he instead of had having two parents who trained him to be a drug dealer? From the earliest of ages, I might tell you, if he had had 2 parents who were successful business people or business executives who trained him in the right direction.
Rayful Edmond spent 35 years in prison, arrested at age 24, and convicted of running a multi-million-dollar criminal conspiracy, dealing crack cocaine on the streets of D.C., leading to multiple murders as well. Then U.S. Attorney Jay Stevens.
I think Rayful Edmond has been held accountable for the human destruction and tragedy that he has brought to this city and to the lives of thousands of young people who live in this community.
But Rayful Edmond would continue running his enterprise from inside prison, later becoming an informant, leading to the arrests of nearly a dozen of his former cohorts.
I don't think I'm going to spend the rest of my life in prison. I think I'm going to go home one day soon.
You think your appeal will be successful?
Yes, I hope and pray that it will.
Turns out his prayers were answered. Despite being sentenced to life in prison, Edmond was released into the community last summer, his sudden death coming just 5 months later. And there's no word on any services. Rayful Edmond is survived by his mother, who served time in prison as part of that conspiracy, and at least one sister.
Tonight, embattled Councilman Trayon White is one big step closer to getting kicked out of D.C. Council. He's fighting a federal bribery charge. Now, his fellow lawmakers are making moves to expel the Ward 8 representative. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald live at the Wilson Building today. Fitz.
Kenneth, good evening. It looks very much like D.C. Council member Trayon White, who is facing federal criminal charges right now on bribery allegations, is very likely set next month to be expelled from the D.C. Council outright. A report to an ad hoc committee of the D.C. Council found what they said were substantial evidence that Trayon White had violated the ethics rules of the D.C. Council by taking bribes and then steering D.C. contracts to specific contractor. Now, remember, there is a federal criminal case right now against D.C. Council member White. However, this hearing today by the ad hoc committee was not passing judgment on that. In fact, council member after council member, before announcing their vote to recommend expulsion, said that this vote today was based on D.C. ethics code, a code that they say Trayon White clearly violated.
The report's finding of substantial evidence of bribery is an egregious violation of our public trust.
We can't continue as though nothing has happened and make those necessary steps while Councilmember Trayon White remains a member of this body.
There is only one path forward, and I support the motion for expulsion.
Now, for his part, Councilmember White decided not to address this ad hoc committee today. However, before they met, he did speak with reporters. He stressed in his view his innocence and also pointed out that he just won re-election last month. A lot of his supporters were in the chamber today and said they were angry that Ward 8 constituents were not allowed to speak up in his defense.
Just last month, over 20,000 people in Ward 8 decided that they wanted me to be their council member. So we're sticking to that.
They talk about their responsibility to the public. They have an overall duty to make sure that the Ward 8 residents' voices are heard.
This decision today sets up a January 28th hearing by the full council. A vote on expulsion is expected in February of 2025. Now, remember, Councilmember White's trial on these federal charges isn't expected to begin until 2026. It is theoretically possible that he could be expelled from the council, but yet still run in the special election to fill the Ward 8 seat. We'll have to see if that happens. We're live at the Wilson Building tonight. We'll send it back into you.
We begin with breaking news at 11. A 5-year-old girl fighting for her life tonight. Police say she was shot by her 3-year-old brother. The man who was babysitting the 2 young children is now behind bars. Fox 5's Shamari Stone live in Southwest D.C. tonight with the latest details. Shamari.
Well, basically, people in this Southwest D.C. neighborhood tell me that they are in shock. Shock that a 3-year-old boy is accused of shooting his 5-year-old sister. But also you have some people who are crying, upset that this 5-year-old girl is at a hospital right now in critical condition. And then you have some folks who are angry, wondering, how did a 3-year-old boy allegedly get access to a gun that was insecure inside of an apartment? You look right over here, D.C. police still on the scene. This is the apartment complex. That shooting happening right here at this apartment complex inside a unit. Let's roll some video. D.C. police saying they responded here in the unit block of Galveston Place around 6:30 this evening, finding the 5-year-old girl conscious and breathing, but suffering from serious injuries. Medics immediately drove her to a hospital. Police say the 3-year-old boy, her brother, got access to the gun and shot his 5-year-old sister. Officers arresting a man at the apartment complex who was babysitting the kids in the apartment. They say the kid's mother left them in the care of the man while she went out to run errands. And while police investigate who exactly owns this gun, Chief Pamela Smith says people need to make sure their guns are properly locked up.
This incident really highlights the danger of unsecured firearms in homes and especially around children. We want to emphasize the importance of firearm safety, and we are asking everyone to keep our young female victim in your prayers at this time.
Now, tonight, police also arrested a woman for allegedly assaulting a special police officer at this apartment complex. That woman is the 5-year-old victim's older sister. Again, that 5-year-old is in critical condition right now, and people in this Southwest D.C. neighborhood are definitely upset about this, demanding to know, number one, how did this happen? Why did this happen? And they ask about the child's mother who left, police say, these children in the care of this man who was supposed to be watching them. A lot of unanswered questions tonight. I'm Shamari Stone here in Southwest D.C. Back to you.
Information about the George Mason University student arrested by the FBI for allegedly plotting an attack in New York City. Shamari Stone has the story tonight.
Tonight, George Mason University's president says that suspect 18-year-old Abdullah Hassan is a freshman at the university majoring in information technology, and he is banned from school property. The FBI saying Abdullah Hassan, shown in this arrest photo, told an undercover informant that New York City would be a, quote, goldmine of targets, and allegedly plotted an attack on the Israeli consulate in New York, along with Jewish communities. According to court documents, Hassan is a national of Egypt, currently living in Falls Church, Virginia, and is in removal proceedings with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The FBI started investigating Hassan on May 4th after the Fairfax County Police Department shared an anonymous tip about Hassan allegedly engaging in radical and terrorist-leaning behavior on X. The FBI believes he operated several pro-ISIS and al-Qaeda accounts that promoted violence against Jews. Agents arrested him on Tuesday. George Mason University's president says that the school has stepped up security. I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.
Montgomery County Police shot and killed a dog today after they say it attacked 2 women and killed another dog. It happened on Heather Hill Road in Bethesda around 10:30 this morning. According to police, 2 dogs charged at another dog and its owner. One of the attacking dogs ran off. The other killed the victim dog. The 2 women were also bit, but they're expected to be okay.
Turning now to our city under siege coverage, where the district continues to battle a wave of gun violence. This time, the victim, a 17-year-old girl, shot near Dunbar High School. And this morning, police are on the hunt for the gunman. Fox 5's Melanie Alwick is live this morning at the scene of that crime with the latest in this search as well as the investigation. Melanie.
Yeah, we have some new information for you coming up in just a sec. But, you know, here's the thing. Violent crime in the city is down 35% overall. But here in the few blocks surrounding Dunbar High School, it's actually more than doubled in the last year. We're talking about 2 homicides, 6 robberies. We've also had several assaults with a dangerous weapon. And now we have this 17-year-old girl shot. And take a look at how close these bullets came. This Jeep right here, this window was basically shattered by gunfire. And then right over here, Miss Brenda is here. She showed us last night the bullets that came through the side of her vehicle. Some of them even perhaps lodged into the engine this morning. And Brenda and others that live here on Morgan Street say they've had enough.
I'm sick. You know, I'm really hurt. I'm upset. I'm depressed. Everything. You know, it's just like something is just taking something out of me. I'm sitting in my house and boom, 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 boom. These kids, they just don't care. They don't care. Your life means nothing to them. Your property means nothing to them. When are we going to get a grip on this? You know, something is wrong. Something is wrong.
So it was 3:02 in the afternoon when gunfire was heard on Morgan Street and neighbors called 911. The 17-year-old girl, a Dunbar student, was shot in the lower left back. Police say unknown parties drove her back to Dunbar for medical help. There, they also called fire and EMS. She was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now take a look at this video. A suspect spotted. The Real-Time Crime Center then enhanced the image and put this out publicly last night. You can also see here that the alleged shooter does appear to be a young person. The police report also says that there was a suspect vehicle that sped away down N Street Northwest. Now, the principal of Dunbar High School told families in a letter that the school's dedicated wellness team will be available to help students cope with the effects of gun violence. But I tell you, just speaking here with Miss Brenda and others, they say that the school needs to do more to keep these kids in the schools and off of the streets in the afternoons.
Up this half hour, 2 men killed tonight in Prince George's County.
And police are now investigating what led up to the deadly double shooting. Fox 5's Shamari Stone has the very latest from Forest Heights.
Tonight, Forest Heights Police and Prince George's County Police are working on this narrow roadway as they collect evidence. Take a walk with me and you can see this crime scene tape extending across the street. You have a Forest Heights police cruiser right here, and that double shooting happening not at the first SUV, but the next one you see over there with the flashing lights going back and forth. That is near where this double shooting happened, outside a few houses down from where I'm standing. Police drove out here to the 100 block of Seneca Drive after people reported hearing several gunshots fired around 6 o'clock tonight. Officers finding a man suffering with gunshot wounds in a front yard and another man with gunshot wounds laying in the street. Both men died on the scene. Tonight, police believe no one else is involved, and they say the shooting is isolated. Homicide detectives are trying to determine a motive, and they're investigating to see if the 2 men shot at each other, possibly during a fight. Prince George's County Police have taken over this investigation since it is a homicide. You're now going to hear from the Forest Heights Police Chief and a woman who lives near the crime scene.
It is an unfortunate incident. Any life loss is unfortunate. What we do try to prevent that. We do know that we did find 2 firearms on scene, and we don't know how they are related. We don't know who did what to who, but right now that's part of the investigation.
What did you hear?
I was upstairs and I just heard 5 gunshots. I heard 3, and then it was maybe a pause, and then I heard 2 more.
And tonight, police have not released the names or ages of the 2 men. They must first notify their relatives about the deaths. Meanwhile, police urge anyone with information about this to give them a call. As for the 2 men, well, police did not tell us if they live out here on Seneca Drive. Officers continue to go from house to house trying to talk to people to get more information about these 2 men. In Forest Heights, I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.